Okay, so I've been procrastinating this video for quite some time now. I decided to finish it today. We will be enjoying the sunrise as I talk about how I fucked up my van. What I first did was clean, sanitize, scrub, and just do all that stuff before doing anything else, obviously. One of the first things I did was take the grill off because it was very weathered and the original paint on it was pretty ugly and faded from the sun and the weather, so I just took it off and spray painted it and then hand painted the little Volkswagen sign. It was super faded and chipped away at, and I did it with spray paint. Back bumper as well. You can see it was pretty nasty. One of the biggest things I wanted to do to the van was definitely take out this cupboard that is right above your head. Like when you are sleeping, you easily can hit your head on that and it's very uncomfortable to sit with it. With the trunk open, you just like have to nudge down and it's super uncomfortable. So that was like one of the first things I did was take that out, and I definitely don't regret doing that. It was quite the struggle taking it out. Actually, there was a bunch of screws I had to get to that were almost impossible. And I also had to cut the speaker wires as well, and that's fine because I wasn't gonna plan on using the original like radio and stuff like that because apparently it kills the battery really quickly. Also, look how fucking beautiful. Wow. And then what I did was the cover that covers the engine off, and I spray painted that as well because it was super chipped away at. Everything was basically like rusty and chipped away at. So eventually it's all gonna get restored, but for now this is the stuff that I did. That was one of the main things I also wanted to do because, I don't know, you sleep like right on that and it was so gross and rusted. So I cleaned it and painted it and made it all nice. And then there was a bunch of like stickers on the car from the previous owner, so I just got glue gun, which didn't work at all. I mean, it did a tiny bit, but I wouldn't waste your money on it. So the next big thing that I did was change out the floors. As you can see, the floors were fucking disgusting, and these tracks were from a bench that I actually sold so you could have more seating in there and more people, but I don't think I'm gonna drive with more than like one other person at a time, so I decided to take that out. Plus I have the front seat and that back bench already, so I didn't need the other one, so I just decided to cover it with laminate. Should have put something underneath to protect it from water spillage or anything like that. I mean, the original floor is like kind of rubbery, so I think it's fine to just put the wood over top. I saw some people put like, what's it called, shower curtain or something underneath to protect it from the water, but I don't know, I feel like that would just maybe keep it moist. Anyway, moving on. Basically, I had to take the seats out because they're normally swivel seats and they didn't want to swivel, and the carpet was fucking disgusting, as you can see as well. So I took the chairs out, I sprayed this grease on it that really helped to get it out of there, and I just vacuumed and sprayed it with rust spray, and also put more of that grease on, and then they swiveled perfectly. Sorry if I look so dark, I want you guys to see the pretty sunrise while I'm filming instead of me. And then what I did also was dye the carpet, and I was kind of hesitant about this because I was like, it can either go really right or really wrong, and thank God it went really good because that would have fucking sucked to have to rip out the whole carpet. And I eventually want to do that because that's 30-year-old carpet in there. It's fucking gross underneath, even though I scrubbed the hell out of it. But I eventually just want to like rip out all of the floor and put new fresh insulation and everything in there. Then this is the bench seat that I had to work on. It took me forever to scrub even half of the stains out, so that was super annoying and really time consuming. I also dyed the seats and the back bench seat as well. As you can see, it was really gross before, so scrubbed the hell out of that. And I painted the underneath part because the underneath part is actually access storage as well. I also took off all the rust from the edge there just by sanding it down, and it really made a big difference. I actually want to do that to a lot of other metal bits that are around the van, so I'll eventually get to that. This is me dyeing them. See, it was pretty like scary and all in, as you can see. There was no turning back. I just did it during the summer when it was really hot out every day, so they had a good dry and they didn't get all gross from just sitting and not ever drying. They actually turned out really, really good. I also decided I wanted to paint inside the van because the walls were really dated and gray and stained. I actually peeled off the top part here just to expose the bare metal, and I actually really like the way it looks. Okay, before I get into this part, I want to explain myself. So when I first got this van, everyone told me not to do anything to the inside, that I'll have trouble reselling it, and that I'm just gonna be taking its value down. I totally get that if I was planning on selling it, but I'm gonna have this thing in my life forever, and I don't want to like live in it basically if it's not up to what I like. So in this next clip though, I understand what the people were getting at, and they were right for this part. But it can be fixed, so that's the main thing. In the moment, it looked really, really good, but it didn't last. So what I did here, what I did here was, I don't know what to say actually. So this is what it originally looked like. This was the pole, whatever, the seatbelt fucking area between the sliding door and the passenger seat. And I wanted to make an accent wall, you know, cute little accent wall in the van, make it feel like a vibe. That's what I was trying to do. So I took off this gray part that was here, because it was disgusting, obviously, and the top part was just like glue and exposed metal anyway. And then I decided they're like long pieces of wood that I found in an alleyway like a year ago or something, but I've been hoarding them because I thought I could do something cool with them. And I actually made a cool mirror, did a few things with them, but I decided to use them for this project. And yeah, I decided to glue popsicle sticks on the wall of my van, basically. I mean, it turned out really cool. Look at how nice that looks. Very nice, very clean. But, I'm gonna pause it right there. But, with the heat, with the cold, I didn't pick the right glue, and it's just starting to pop off one by one. I mean, at least it's gonna be a really easy removal. Yeah, they no longer look like that. But yeah, that is one of the things that I did in the van that I not very proud of. It's gonna pop off. No shit. Like, what the fuck was I thinking? I can't even. I eventually do want to paint the whole van a different color, so that maroon metal won't even be there in the future. Anyway, let's move on. This is just a whole crafting show. Next, I painted the walls because I didn't like the gray in there and I wanted it to be way more bright and open feeling, so I primed them and I painted it with this creamy off-white color, and then I did the bottom half, and this is kind of what I want the outside of the van to look like a creamy off-white on the top and then this kind of sage green on the bottom. So I actually like how that turned out a lot, and it doesn't chip, and it's on there. Next thing I did was change the tabletop. The tabletop before was a little too big. It was the stock tabletop, so I decided to just get 2 cutting boards and use that same bit that came with the stock board and just drill it onto the cutting boards, and also spray paint it with rust spray. I also coated it with some like finishing food grade clear coat stuff, so it's easier to clean off and wipe. You can just directly use that thing as a cutting board as well as a desk. Here's another one of my other bright ideas, surprising. I really wanted to put a swing in my van, and no one was gonna stop me. So I got my brother to help me. Thank God he did, because knowing my dumb ass, I would have just got the biggest drill bit and probably drilled right through the fucking metal. But he taught me that you're supposed to start small and go big and then work my way up. The only issue with this idea is that when it's raining and you have the door open, water will seep into your car. because that is the rain duct up there, and I drilled into the rain duct. I don't regret it because I way rather the swing, and I shouldn't be having the door open in the rain anyway. I should get an awning and then be able to do that, and then no rain will get in there at all. I don't regret the swing. I love the fucking swing. The swing is here to stay, and those holes are going nowhere. I love the swing. Anyway, here are some clips that I took on my iPhone. They're kind of shitty, of a little bit of the van update. As you can see, it looks a lot more brighter and homey in there. As I started using the van more, I realized that I needed to do another major renovation. What I did was decide to cut out a hole in the back closet area, because in the back closet, as you can see, there are these two cubbies, and there was a wall separating both of the entrances inside of there. This first hole here, you can see this big open space, but you can't fit big bags in there because of how small the hole is. So what I decided to do, drill a hole in the back and start cutting. I really prefer having this big open space. It's like my spice rack, I call it, but I keep like a shower in there. I keep my towels, all my bath products, and just like easy to grab things. Also, one of the things with these vans, they don't have cup holders. It was super frustrating at first, just holding my drink in my lap and shifting and one hand on the wheel. It was really frustrating, so I decided to do something about it. I went online and researched so much, like, how can I make cup holders? What can I do, especially in the Westie? Like, how can I make it on the dashboard and make it stay, so when I go on dirt roads or something, so nothing's gonna fly around. And then I discovered that people take out the little ashtray, I guess, that's right in the dashboard there. I went over to my friend's house. He had these perfect pieces of board to use. I cut out the same shape, obviously 2 pieces, so they're matching. And basically started creating like my own cup holder from there. I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. I actually couldn't have made a better cup holder, and it stays so good. It's gonna be so hard for me to take that thing out of there. So far, that's all I have of the renovation stuff. I'm, thank God, almost done, and I'm ready to take it on a trip soon. I'll tell you guys about that soon. The next video I'll make is basically a story time and everything about what I've done to the van mechanically so far, because it's been a lot, and the person that sold it to us lied a lot, so fuck you.